parking lot fender bender.
I love the word anticipation. He was anticipating him going on in, but he didn't do it.
In turn 2, the 0-1.
I mean, these are guys, we talked about it earlier, desperation, trying to get back up there, stay close to the leader. And this caution was quite a break for Kenny Wallace and Mike Skinner there in the 4 car. These guys just trying to get back on the lead lap.
He did an incredible job of a 360 there to keep going. I see that a lot here at this racetrack.
From Dale Jr. on board. Nadu spun almost into his teammate Johnny Benson, and then the two of them almost collided coming off.
It's right now. Caution is out. Caution's out.
Ricky Rudd has spun at turn 4.
Dale Jr. is going to beat the 24 car back to the line. Now, he let him go. Now, that would have been a violation of the gentleman's agreement.
But not of the rule.
Not of the rule. But the gentleman's agreement was meant for when we're all lined up racing that the guy running 8th or 9th doesn't jump out and pass everybody coming back to the line. That's what the intent was. But as far as keeping a car down, that was up to whoever wanted to do that.
Let's show you what happened. Gordon going way around Ricky Rudd's car, and here they come. And
he realized, you know, that's the gentleman's agreement.
Is you don't race the leader to the line.
Well, not when he's been pushed out of the line or whatever. You're taking advantage of him, and there's no reason to.
And I tell you what, all our leaders on pit road, this shows me just how bad this racetrack is, how slick it is. Everybody's pitting, Jeannie.
Okay. Ricky Rudd and Matt Kenseth get together here, Darrell. Have a look.
Going off in the corner here. As we well know, Kenseth is struggling. Ricky just drives in too hard underneath of him and slides up into him, spins him out. Spins himself out. Ricky's trying to stay off of him. Got in too hard, got on the brakes, sent himself around.
Pretty nice save by Kenseth, though. Ricky hit him pretty hard.
Yes, he did.
We're under caution for the second time today at Martinsville, Virginia. Mayfield.
Caution is out, too. Caution is out.
Man, that's going to save Mark Martin. He was fighting like crazy to stay on the lead lap.
He did not stay on it, though, Darrell, because Jeff Gordon put him down.
He tried to let him get it back.
Gordon is kind of like a gentleman C. He did a nice gentleman's job of slowing down, but
that was one of those, I tried, man, I tried.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, we talk about costly mistakes. Steve Burns had told me during break, our guys, even though you may not hear them on pit road, they give us a lot of information. Kenny Wallace, who had pitted under green because they didn't get the car fuel the last pit stop, now he's 3 laps down as you're riding with him right here.
In the car? No, sir. We had no cans to put in the car.
Now, what he is explaining is that at the temporary fueling depot set up here for the Winston Cup teams, it's been a little slow process of filling the dump cans after pit stops, and there's quite a line. There was quite a line there. So they didn't get all the gas they wanted at the gas pump in time when they made that pit stop.
You saw right there, it just looked like possibly Ryan Newman got in the back of Jeremy Mayfield, the 19. Again, Ryan Newman, desperation, trying to stay within those leaders.
Jared just made the big brown save right here.
Boy, he did. I looked up there, and all I saw was 88 and UPS sideways. Got into the side of the 43 car there, or the 43 ran into him, straightened him back out.
I was going to say, definitely straightened him back out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Matt?
Well, Mike Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew jumped up on the wall. He came on the radio and said, I ran over something. I don't know what it is. Be ready in case we cut it.
And the gap there pretty easily.
Turn 4.
And Jack Sprague goes around. Let me tell you, that started a lap ago. And Michael Waltrip were beating and banging.
Kenny Wallace trying so hard for the 3rd time to get his lap back. I believe he'll get it back this time. Jeff Gordon let him have it back.
The way this started, Darrell, wasn't pretty. Jack Sprague and Michael Waltrip had contact, I think, 3 times on that lap, and it all ended up with Sprague getting turned around in turn 4. Application of what we used to call the chrome horn when we had chrome bumpers.
Now right here, and we're going to look at the replay right here.
Now that was the last one of 3.
All right, now we see a lot of our leaders come to pit road, so this is going to pay off.
Becomes the 5th different leader. Now, you saw all that contact back there at turn 2.
They still have a penalty box here, I've been told.
We may see it before the day is out. Fun off the front bumper of Steve Park coming off turn number 4. Blaney trying to cut under Michael Waltrip, but there wasn't any room. He wasn't hardly stopped before the caution flag waved, as you see it from Ricky Rudd's point of view. It is Newman, and it is a caution flag.
Caution is out.
And it flew right on the roof of Dale Earnhardt Jr., so if he got the caution, nobody gets a lap back. And did Junior get the caution?
He didn't get it. I didn't see him get it myself. I think if Craven will hustle back around here, he'll get back on the lead lap.
If he didn't get it, he will get his lap back.
Dale Jr. was way past the start line. Now, Jeff Gordon was coming to the line.
The 32's already taken the caution. NASCAR's telling him right now. Junior didn't take it, but the 32 car did.
So let's explain that. You can only take the caution flag once. And even though it waved over the roof of Earnhardt Jr., he had not taken the caution.
The fence.
He is in the fence.
Turn 1.
Caution's out. Come on, guys.
Caution is out. Caution's out. Nobody will get a lap back.
9th caution of the day. Lap 446, and because now that's an old New England short track trick. You roll up to the wall and you stop to draw the caution, and then you scoot away. That did not escape the attention of the NASCAR officials, and there will be, I believe, a penalty forthcoming for Ricky Craven.
Pit road is closed, but I don't look for anybody to be coming. Track position much more important now.
In the air. Oh boy, 13 laps to go. The caution flag waves for Terry Labonte.
That's a shame. He was still on the lead lap, having a good run.
And let's show you what happened here between Jeff Burton and Jimmy Johnson.
Well, they've done this a couple of times, guys. I mean, the 99 kept getting in under him, and then they just kind of like say, I didn't appreciate that, and bang on each other.
And what happened to Terry Labonte?
Same thing, gets down underneath the 23, gets under him. No. When the 23 wasn't involved in that.
It's almost like he checked up because of what was going on between him. It looked like Kurt Busch got in the back of him.
17 car looked like got a little bit loose, and he had to check up a tad and got nailed for line.
The point leader spins, gets into...
No caution yet. The boy had stacked the field up.
Boy, the cars behind him almost stopped.
They're still not going.
It's just so bad because you can't see, and Busch got a flat tire. And
this could be the race. Leader did not get the caution. There is no caution.
But he's laying right in the bottom of the groove in turn 2. The caution will be out. This will be for the race right here.
Come on.
This will be for the race.
Come on.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. He batted Bobby Labonte for second.
Labonte lifted. Junior didn't, but couldn't run over top of him. Here comes Gordon to the final flag.
Look at the battle for 4th, though, Mike. Look at him. They're 3 wide sideways off turn 4. Jeff Burton finishes 4th. Again, it's not over with yet, but we only have 2 laps to go. They will not get this race restarted.
Stewart is mad at Elliott Sadler.
He can't be mad. It's 3 laps to go at a short track.
Nothing to be mad about now.
I'm not sure, but
he's on a flat tire, but he has to make another lap and a half on that flat tire.
And I don't believe...
He's turning Elliott Sadler sideways in turn 3 right now.
He's a little ticked, but okay.
I don't believe we can get this restarted unless they give one to go right now. Even so, white flag. Now we're at 499. Well, we anticipated a big battle to the finish, but that prior caution flag let Jeff Gordon scoot away. Nobody has won yet from the front row this year.
Until now.
3 grooves of racing. You'll run where your car feels the best.
And we've had enough.
Whoa! In the wall, Newman. And Park spins.
Caution is out.
Steve Park keeps it
all but off the wall, and I believe the car into the outside wall may have been Ryan Newman. Caution's out.
Looks like Bill Elliott will bring him down and lead this first lap as he takes his caution flag. There's you see Ryan Newman, the 12 car, smoking. He definitely got in the wall, but a lot of damage on this Pennzoil car.
Yeah, that car is wounded badly. You can see it's running all cock-wobbled there.
Hawk-wobbled?
Cock-wobbled, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
About pancake. That's
pancake right
the
there.
Right side
the right side of the 12 car.
Cock-wobbled is a Southern California term.
Okay.
Well, let's see if we can analyze this. It's Newman or Park already sliding back, and he and Newman just get together, and oh gosh, they get together big time.
Park had already slid back to the 5th position.
Yeah.
Looked like his car was just moving up the racetrack and was not turning on probably low air pressure on his tires.
There were such high expectations for Steve Park. He's on the pole, and everybody said, oh, this is what he needed. But you know, with those high expectations comes more high expectations. They were expecting him to run really well today, and he didn't need this.
Boy, Rusty just snuck through there.
Well, a lot of guys
Here comes the field.
Snuck by this mess.
About 35 cars coming at this group.
That car, look at it, just continually spinning around. Everybody's having to take evasive action. Great job of driving on everybody's part. He just moved up. It's really, when you come off turn 2 over there, the car will always want to pick up a little push. I mean, we're early in the first lap here. You wouldn't expect that, but man, Park just got down there and couldn't turn. Got into the side of Newman.
Matt Yoakum on the damage report.
Well, Mike, they peeled away the sheet metal from the tire, changed the tire. They are going to have Steve Park come back in now, work on the damaged sheet metal on that right front fender.
Park was the car in the middle, 3 wide, as they went down into turn 1 on the initial start. Coming up off the corner back at 5th. It's into Ryan Newman. Mayhem ensues. First caution of the day, lap 1 here in California.
Gordon, the 31 car, I mean, real loose.
Oh.
Jack Sprague in the outside wall, the 0 car.
Sprague.
Caution's out again.
And 0 is about as much luck as Sprague has had this year. He had his best qualifying effort of the season, 12th. And his race looks like it could be over early. The Spring Lake, Michigan driver.
If your car's loose, if it's a little loose over there off of turn 2, that's exactly what can happen to you. You just come off of there, track's a little loose. The back end will come around and it'll shoot right back out into the outside wall.
Here's what happened to Jack Sprague.
See, he's way up high, gets into loose stuff. Back end comes around and can't quite.
Almost had it corrected, just not quite. Boy, there's a lot of cars just barely got by him over there. A lot of them coming at him.
Yeah, he was pretty far up in the field. That car almost acts like a car that has a flat tire. You know, the way it's kind of wobbling sideways. That didn't really have the hospital hop to it. That was more of a wobble.
Sprague will come to pit road, and it looks like they'll be able to make repairs and keep him in this race.
Now, I don't think we'll see the guys at the front of the pack here as we come to complete lap 9 come to pit road, but Darrell, fuel mileage always an issue here. If I'm at the
Ryan Newman goes into the wall, and the pole sitter Steve Park ends up spinning out of this and wrecking.
Yeah, they both got together. They come down off that corner right there. The pole sitter actually got into Ryan Newman and forced him up in the wall. Ryan is still trying to get his car fixed. You can see right there he's working on his own car, quite frustrated. But on lap 8, we had another list right there with Jack Sprague, got too high and got in the outside wall also. But Jack Sprague has been able to continue.
So early excitement here at the California Speedway. Bill Elliott had the lead until Tony Stewart in the 20 car, part of the Joe Gibbs Racing team, advances and still has that lead, and then Greg Biffle in turn 4 gets too low.
Got just a little bit low that white line right there, and he lost grip on the front end. Around came the back end, but fortunately Greg Biffle didn't hit anything. He was able to continue, and
he even was by himself when it started. You'll see him come into frame and go around. Then Jerry Nadeau spins in the smoke. Nobody gets into the wall, but they almost got into each other.
behind him. He just, you know, sometimes guys don't realize they got too much rear brake on these cars. And if you jump on the brakes at the speed you're running, the back end will just snap
Dixie with 32 to go. Not now.
Oh, trouble. There's Junior's caution.
Turn 2, a car up and in the wall. Jerry Nadeau actually misses the wall, but caution comes quickly.
Boy, Bobby Labonte's after Junior. He's not going to give it to him.
He's going to make him earn it. He looks like he'll be just fine.
Yeah, he's going to chase him to the line. Hello.
And this, as we're fond of saying, changes everything.
Oh, but I like it.
It's going to be clear over there.
You know,
Winston in this end. It might be that left front go all the hell.
And
Take a look at the studs while you got a chance.
Sounded like he thinks there's a problem with the left front.
Let's see what happened to Jerry Nadeau at turn 2. Now, he was, and still is, one of the lead lap cars.
Same thing that happened to him down there on the other end of the speedway. You know, when the 32 spun, he spun the thing out that very same way and didn't hit anything.
I'm not sure if that deserved a caution. Nadeau got going again right away and was toward the end of the pack, but that's the situation we have with 30 laps to go.
Me. But I'm not in that 31 car.
I'm sure if I was in Nadeau's car, I would have wanted that to be a caution.
Yeah, well, you know, when there's that much smoke and you're not sure, err on the side of safety.
in fact, that last lap, Rusty Wallace was by far the quickest car.
Trouble down here, car round.
Dale Jarrett in the wall, and whoa, Benson just missed him.
No, he didn't.
Looks like Jeremy Mayfield
They
got
wadded up about 8 of them over there, 8 or 9 of them.
Missed Jarrett, but caught the wall. Nemechek's in it.
But I'm going to tell you what, Kurt Busch, he's going to race him back. He backs off finally over there in turn 4, but will Jeff Burton get his lap back? I don't think so. Rusty Wallace is not backing off, though. In fact, Rusty's going to be third coming across the line.
Now, if you want to know about the gentleman's agreement, there would have been a good example of when the gentleman's agreement would have been in effect.
Dale Jarrett has climbed from his car, Darrell. He's okay. Jarrett, Benson, Robbie Gordon, you see here, Larry Foyt, all involved at turn number 2 with 20 laps to go.
The gentleman's agreement, oh, Lord, Dale Jarrett's car is, look at the back of that thing, Larry.
Brand new race car.
Casey Mears was in it as well.
Now
Dale Jarrett's long out of that car.
That's the crew chief in Larry. Brand new race car.
Not anymore.
When we know our driver's out, we
knew he got out of the car, yeah.
We have about 18 cars on the lead lap. Once again, I think the guys at the rear of the field will probably come into pit road.
What happens here, Darrell?
I just think the 88 gets around. Yeah, he does. He just gets around, backs it up in the fence hard, a lot of smoke, and all of a sudden he starts down the racetrack and he has no control. Benson spins and backs up in the fence, and a bunch of other cars in are all trying to check up, and they get involved as well.
Jeremy Mayfield, a 19 car.
That's what hit the back of Jarrett's car so hard was Mayfield. Nemechek spun, but I'm not sure he hit anything.
Here comes the 32. He got through all right.
Now here will come Mayfield.
Boy, Todd Bodine just gets by.
Wham! Right there.
And
he did hit that car hard.
Yeah, that's 2 cars for them this weekend. The 10 car.
There's Benson sliding through.
Oh,
yeah, that's a big hit.
It is. Here's the 31 down here going around. A lot of cars involved.
A lot of left side damage. I never did see Larry Foyt, but I know the front of his car is all torn up.
Here we go, Dale Jarrett.
Benson.
Both those were hard moves.
Yes, sir.
Robbie Gordon.
He got that on the grass.
trying to avoid Ricky Rudd.
Right. I think he ever hit anything.
Dale Jarrett trying to get out with the...
He's a big guy, too, Mike, and it's difficult, man, to get out of that car the way these seats are made today. But you saw him. He got out there in a hurry when he knew it was on fire.
Of our lead lap cars, the only one I saw come to pit road was Dave Blaney in the 77 car. Pretty much everyone else stayed out. But you know what this will do for Dale Earnhardt Jr.? He's up to 10th position. This will let him catch up. But we're still going to have a double file restart.
7 cars involved in that crash up in turn 2. Getting set for a shootout in the Auto Club 500. The Auto Club 500 on Fox, presented by UPS, is brought to you by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. By Valvoline's Max Life, products formulated to help keep your higher mileage car running for a long, long time. By Net Zero Internet Access. And by Subway, fresh-made sandwiches on fresh-baked bread. Subway, eat fresh. 17 laps to go. Cleanup continues in turn 2. 9 cars were involved in that crash. We didn't note Kyle Petty and Dave Blaney, but they got together in the aftermath of this one. And a good number of those cars are going to be out of this race. Here's Jeannie.
Looking for answers, we go to the crew chiefs. Donnie Wingo, we know that your rookie's out in front. Does he have what it takes to win this thing?
I mean, the Helen Dodge has been pretty good all day, and we just kind of try to keep up with the racetrack, free the car up a little bit each stop, and so far it's been pretty good. I don't know, Kurt looks pretty good right now. It's the best he's looked all day, so we just hope we can hold him off here at the end.
All right, it'll be fun to watch. Dick?
Now, Kurt Busch is...
2 good battles as we close in. White flag trouble. It is Martin sliding across the grass, and it's Johnson in the wall. Jimmy. Caution is out.
No, the white flag's out. You got to race back. You cannot slow down.
Now, Jimmy Johnson's car wadded up in the wall. They've got to race to the line. The leaders did not get the yellow, did they?
No, on the last lap, you race back.
And Rusty Wallace and Bobby Lonnie, they're side by side down the backstretch. This is a battle for second. Kurt Busch entering turn 3 right now.
Jimmy Johnson gets his car off the wall and out of harm's way.
Mark Martin's in the middle of the grass here right at the start-finish line, but this will be the race right here. Kurt Busch coming off turn 4, Mike.
Yeah, but here comes Bobby Labonte under Rusty. Rusty drove it in there hard, shoved up. Labonte's going to beat him to the line.
6th career win for Kurt Busch. And a near photo finish at the line, Labonte for 2nd.
And how about Bill Elliott finishes 4th, Jamie McMurray 5th, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. finishes 6th, and Michael Waltrip 7th.
John Evans 8th, Sterling Marlin, Matt Kenseth.
How many times this year have we seen that 48 car spin out on the last lap?
3 times.
Boy, that's getting to be a habit.
And Matt Kenseth, our points leader, he did finish in the top 10. He finished 10th, so he won't lose too much ground. John Andretti 8th and Sterling Marlin 9th.
Let's show you the crash. Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy just ran out of racetrack, Darrell.
Yeah, he bumped
got that push off turn 4.
He bumped the wall, and Mark was so close to him that he couldn't help but get into him.
And McMurray was so lucky to miss him, and here the whole field has to get their cars away from the wall. Bill Elliott's view of all this.
This was definitely the best view to have out the rear view mirror.
Oh boy, yeah, just bounced off the wall right there. Mark was just so close.
The string of different winners ends at 9. Jimmy Johnson completes the...
Came over the Richmond International Raceway this afternoon when Jerry Nadeau crashed in the first practice session for tomorrow's Winston Cup race, driving the 01 car. It was about an hour and a half ago. Nadeau, the 32-year-old driver from Danbury, Connecticut here, slid into turn 1, hit the wall on the driver's side.
Yeah, he had very hard impact right there on the driver's side right there. And as you see here again, the car came around really quick right there, hard up in the outside wall, and came to a pretty quick stop right there midway through 1 and 2.
And as you get spot shadow of this, the rescue workers quickly coming to the scene, those county fire and rescue workers. It took them approximately 20 minutes once this accident happened to cut Nadeau out of the car. An advanced life team using a cervical collar and assisting Nadeau's breathing got him out, taken away on a stretcher, airlifted to the nearby Medical College of Virginia, where doctors believe, according to Jim Hunter, spokesman for NASCAR, doctors believe there is potential for serious injuries. And certainly our thoughts and prayers with him, his wife. They have a newborn baby, and we will update his medical condition as soon as that information becomes available. And what's amazing, and Darrell Waltrip talked about this if you've been watching on FX, that the team has to push forward. They had to find a driver. Jason Keller, who will be in the Busch race later tonight, is in Jerry Nadeau's 01 car.
Yeah, you can see right there, there's the 01 on the track, but you also notice there's Ryan Pemberton on the right, kind of standing up above Steve Addington, who happens to be Jason's Busch crew chief. They are working together, and this right here again is something that's very unusual in our sport. But when somebody has trouble, everybody comes to that team's rescue, try to help them out. You can see Steve Addington, he looks like he's talking with Jason Keller, trying to understand how the car feels, what it's going to take to kind of get it ready to race tomorrow night, because you never know, it may be Jason winds up racing this race car, or we may have Jerry Nadeau back in it. But either way, this team and this crew have got to get all they can out of this final hour of practice.
Heavy hitters.
Turn 2. Steve Park. And spinning to miss him, Jamie McMurray.
I think McMurray's okay. I think he just spun to miss him and didn't hit anything. He's going to get going again.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, that was a big break for some heavy-hitting cars. In fact, Jason Keller in Jerry Nadeau's car, he's going to get his lap back. But that was a big break for Dave Blaney, Dale Jarrett, Elliott Sadler, Brett Bodine. Larry Foyt gets his lap back. So a lot of cars that Joe Nemechek had put a lap down, they get their laps back.
And Steve Park, pole winner last week, crashed in turn 2 on the first lap of the race, becomes the first casualty of the Pontiac Excitement 400.
There he is back there all by himself. Just got it in there. He got it into turn 1 a little too hot.
Car just came around with him.
We saw that a number of times last night. Same kind of a look.
Watch the left side of your screen, bottom of your screen right there.
Just appears if you overdrive that turn, if you pour it down there a little too hard and get the right side tires up a little bit, that's the result.
Now I would say 45 laps on the board. All the leaders will come to pit road, and they pretty much, the only car stayed out on the racetrack is the pace car. This will be 4 tires and those first adjustments. See the rotor blowing on the right. We got trouble on the front stretch. Caution is out.
And Sprague and Bodine.
Well, that happened right under us here. I'm not sure exactly. Boy, there goes Robbie Gordon. He just not close enough.
Jack Sprague and Brett Bodine get together on the front straightaway.
I think Sprague just spun. I think he got up here on against close to the outside retaining wall and just spun it around. And Brett did everything he could to keep him hitting him. Did a good job. Obviously, there's no hard feelings there.
Does Brett have some left front damage there? Maybe not. Maybe he didn't hit anything.
I don't think there was any contact between the two of them.
Kyle Petty.
Yeah, Kyle Petty. I knew Brett was kind of like a victim of circumstances.
He tried to turn low to go underneath. He saw Jack Sprague going up the racetrack, but he turned down and just looped around with him.
The guy on the bottom here, of course, now there's where you get your left front damage. He got in the back of Kyle, the 11 car did. But what happens here is your car is tight. And as it pushes off at turn 4, the track opens up, and it'll all of a sudden just break loose the front tires wheel and almost hit the wall. You got to jump out of the throttle, and sometimes you get hit from behind.
Now watch the 19, Jerry Mayfield in all this. He is the luckiest guy in that red car on the right. He stops just shy of Brett Bodine. Happened there. They got 3 wide in turn 2. He's the yellow number 4.
On the outside of Todd Bodine in the 54 car there.
Boy, that was, oh my goodness, that was almost.
It could have been real big.
That really was. Both those guys.
Well, I'm corrected. He got the whatever right side damage he got against somebody else. He did not touch the wall.
So he knows what he's doing.
Here's Ricky Craven, 32.
Just up out of the groove, slick up there. You get the debris on your tires. Kisses ever so slightly.
Not too politely.
Not politely, and you don't want to do that all nightly.
Jimmy Spencer has pounded the wall at turn 3. He climbs out. Okay. And it puts us into the 3rd caution of the night at lap 141.
And I mean, he's mad about 2 things. One, he tore a race car up. He had a great race car. He was running 6th after starting 25th.
He comes in view here in a second, and buddy, when he
Don't
does,
worry about it. That has all the sign. The right front tire went soft, went flat on him. Just the car went straight into the wall. But he did have a great race car.
Didn't appear to be anybody else involved. Picking up pieces.
And see, that's a classic example of he hit that wall hard. I mean, he hit it a pounded that wall. He gets out and he's okay. That's what we expect every time one of these cars hits a wall. We expect the driver to get out and be mad, throw his helmet, throw his Hans device or whatever, and walk away.
If you notice what they did, Jimmy gets in the safety vehicle right there, and there you see them picking his car up. But Jimmy had hung his helmet up in the race car, but you saw an official bring the helmet and the head and neck restraint device. Now when you go to the infield care center, they take all of this equipment with you where they can analyze it and look at it.
Yeah, they won't let you in the care center without your helmet.
Really, Steve?
Jimmy Spencer out of the infield care center. Jimmy, what happened, and are you okay?
I don't know what happened. You know, our car was really, really good, and Tommy was going to make a couple more adjustments before the night was over. I tell you, he fixed that thing from happy hour to there. I got the best crew chief, best team here going. We made a lot of mistakes lately. My car owner's behind us. I got the best car in the garage area. The serious team is serious. We will be back. Don't know what the heck happened. Ain't worried about it. We'll get him to Charlotte.
Let's show you what happened at Jimmy Spencer. His crew chief, as he gets into the wall here, his crew chief Tommy Baldwin led, I think, the first 75 laps of this race last year with Ward Burton.
I think what he's trying to say is that dog's going to bite somebody.
And it had all the look of it tonight.
It did.
Something broke on Jimmy Spencer's car to put us under the third caution of the evening in Richmond.
Hit me.
Trouble turn one. Backing into the wall. I think that's Sadler. And Tony Stewart is hard in the wall in turn two.
Yeah, he's riding all the way up to he's in the wall over there.
Caution is out. Robbie Gordon still trying to make another lap up. He will not make it up. Elliott Sadler, the 38 car, a lot of damage to that car.
Like I was saying there on that restart, when you've been out there on the same tires, you pick up a lot of debris. The tires cool off. They just don't. They're not as good after they've been cycled like that.
And Elliott Sadler was one of the cars that did not pit, but Tony Stewart in the 20 car, he did have fresh tires.
Now, Sadler's got another problem. You cannot return to the track without a rear spoiler, and his is dangling by one bolt and one nut. Stewart's okay, getting ready to climb out. Look at him at the top of the screen. As Sadler is the fourth car in line here, and he gets tipped by John Andretti.
Yep, that's what happened. And here comes Tony. Now watch, he's trying to squeeze by, and he gets up in the debris, picks up all that rubber and debris on his tires, and he can't keep him hitting the wall.
Now, Darrell, here's all of our leaders on pit road except for Joe Nipple.
Wall, Casey Mears, he and Matt Kenseth making contact. Caution is out, and a bunch of people are going to get a lap back here. At least half a dozen of them.
All those cars that started in front of the leader, Jeff Gordon, will get their lap back. Robbie Gordon to get another lap
pretty
back.
Good, guys.
The pace car picks up Gordon quickly.
The 17 may have damage. He got into the back of the 41 car over there.
Jack Sprague get a lap back. Jeremy Mayfield, Mike Skinner, Michael Waltrip, Dave Blaney.
Let's show you from Matt Kenseth.
Oh, gosh. 41 car got on the brake, locked the right front up, and slid up in front of him. 41 car, Casey Mears must have been running down.
Many pit stops early on as we have a caution flag. Those pit stops for Mark Martin were because he had a bulky steering, and they had the hood up twice, worked on the steering, and they got it fixed.
Johnny Benson got turned around down the front straightaway, and that has put us under caution for the 6th time tonight. Larry Foyt damaged to the right side in that one. Didn't see how it got started.
I didn't either. I saw the 10 car go around. Happened here on the right at the start finish line on the front straightaway. Of course, this front straightaway is very deceiving. You're in a turn all the time.
Larry Foyt in the 14 car got together with Brett Bodine in the 11 car. That was going off into turn 1 on the front stretch.
And I'm sorry, it was Larry Foyt who spun around. We were informed it was Johnny Benson. Benson was not involved. This is a little earlier. This is Junior and Johnny Benson.
That's what slowed the Junior down when I noticed he was falling back. Now he goes down there and gets hung up behind the 48. They both see the 48 got loose, slid up in front of Junior.
And here it is from Jimmy Johnson. Lap 251, sixth caution, the flag of the night. And
that's the car that we had at Martinsville.
In the wall, Craven hard, and that'll bring out a caution.
And
Robbie Gordon will get that lap back. He is back on the lead lap after being 4 laps down. It took him about 250 laps to do it, but he's there.
Now comes the hard part. Because now instead of restarting up alongside the leader, you will restart in 31st place.
Ricky Craven went down into turn 1, wobbled and bobbled, and then put it into the wall right front first.
Yeah, he hit over there earlier, Mike, and then they've been in and worked on it. They readjusted the toe. I've seen him work on it quite a bit, and now he's got problems, more problems.
Well, it's a drive away instead of a tow away.
Yeah,
but it looks like a put it away.
Now, Jamie McMurray of our front cars, he's the only one that seems like he's going to come to pit road right now. Todd Bodine, who was really starting to slide back, the 54 car, he's on pit road.
So is Matt Kenseth and Kurt Busch.
And you know how good Nemechek's car was, and he is really just hung up back here in traffic. It's just hard to pass.
And he actually came to pit road again back there on lap 252 on the last caution.
Yeah, he's all the way back in 23rd spot, Larry, and has made a lot of progress.
Casey Mears, Jason Keller pit. Robbie Gordon back on the lead lap trying to get fresh tires.
He is a prime example, never give up.
That's right. I'd give him a attaboy and something good cold to drink.
Steve?
Mike, just want to follow up on defending Winston Cup champ Tony Stewart. Went to the garage. He's okay, but very frustrated. 2 tough weeks in a row for him. I talked to Jason Shapiro, one of the lead mechanics on that team. He said the front clip of the chassis is bent. By the time they got it fixed, the race would be over, so he is done for the evening.
He joins Jimmy Spencer and Steve Park in the garage. Out of the race, Elliott Sadler's car is still under repair, and there's a lot of damage to Ricky Craven, who has brought out the 8th caution of the evening. 263 complete, 137 laps to go in the Pontiac Excitement 400. You're watching NASCAR on FX. We restarted, and Mark Martin got away from the field, but just now at lap 268, Jeff Green spins off a turn 2. Jason Keller in the 0-1 cannot miss him. Rusty Wallace may have received some damage in that one.
Yeah.
A couple others spun.
Rusty's got a little right front damage, but I don't think he's going to have to come to pit road, but nothing serious.
Ricky Rudd spun. Several cars all wadded up behind Jeff Green's spin.
And just like we saw last night, as we restart these races with cars a lap down, and the closer to the end of the race it gets, the harder people try, and they want to get back on the lead lap, and they end up getting themselves in trouble.
Watch the 30 car of Jeff Green. Oh.
See, the 22 got in the back of the 12.
Harvick gets in the back of his teammate Jeff Green in the 30 car. Of course, again, we've talked about it all night. Then the chain reaction breaks out.
Now, from the chopper, you'll see the initial contact up in this area, I believe.
Yeah, the 22 gets into the back right there. And I've got to think that he said, look, 12 car, how many laps down are you?
I mean, Ryan Newman's 89 laps down.
And way on the right side of your screen, Rusty Wallace hit Keller pretty hard.
He also got in the side of his teammate, Ryan Newman, as he went up the racetrack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of damage.
Dick Berggren.
It's really interesting working Rusty Wallace pit. He is behind the wheel of the race car, and he is shouting instructions to the crew as to what to do. He was in the middle of all this, so he knows what's most damaged. Billy Wilburn also hollering instructions. Most of the work now on the right front corner of the car as they're trying to pull the fender out so to clear the tire, and he has just run over the air hose.
Well, they tried to get him out quickly, Dick, to keep him on the lead lap.
Well, he's going to have to come back in anyway, and he would restart at the back, so bad deal, but
yeah, I mean, he needs to do whatever he needs to do here to stay on the lead lap. If it means running over jacks, air hoses, or speeding, because the penalty started to tail into the longest line.
Worst deal for Jeff Green. Let's watch from his teammate, Kevin Harvick.
you can hear Harvick gets back to the gas. I think what happened was Jeff had to check up a teeny bit. Harvick didn't. Got into the back of him, turned him around. Ooh. Boy, Rusty did hit the 01 really hard.
And then he hit the 30 of Jeff Green.
Boy, Jeff Green, he hit that wall hard.
Leader is pitting. Dick?
Here.
Jamie McMurray pitted at the end of the last caution flag. He may be trying to go the distance, which is 129 laps from now at Richmond.
It's for Mr. Feelgood.
And I'm going to tell you, go ahead, Steve Burns.
Hey guys, Jeff Green just made a beeline to his teammates pit. Kevin Harvick in the 29 and started poking his crew chief Todd Berry in the chest. The team owner Richard Childress finally came up and grabbed Jeff and tried to get him calmed down. He's headed back to his race car. Green flag.
Jeff Gordon, front of the field. Bill Elliott, Ward Burton, Kevin Harvick, Bobby Labonte on the restart.
What I was going to say about Jimmy Johnson telling Chad Knaus I'm using my brake pedal to help it turn, that's a devil's advocate, because what that's going to do is put more heat in the front tires, make the front air pressure go up. That's going to hurt the turning. You can't fix it that way.
No, and that's kind of an old road course trick. You might be able to get away with that on a road course, but not on a track like this. You might want to figure another way.
Kevin Harvick is up to fourth. Unfortunately, his teammate Jeff Green around off his bumper, and Steve is with Jeff Green.
Jeff, you had a great run going. We saw you talking to Todd Berry. What did you guys talk about?
Todd's a crew chief on the 29, and Kevin spun me out. Ward hit the 12 getting into 1, but man, that wreck was over. We didn't make any contact. Kevin spun me out. We're supposed to be teammates, but it doesn't seem that way right now.
Now, if you're playing our Via Grand Marshal for the day game, the Zero Jack Sprague is not our secret spinning car, but he has just brought out the 10th caution of the night with a big spin at turn 4, and then after he spun it, he turned it right up into traffic trying to get away.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
It's, what would Ken Squire say? Oh, be still, my heart.
Yes, he would. Or, Grandma, put your teeth in your pocketbook for this one. Have a look here.
That was earlier. That's not this one.
Oh, no, this was much earlier.
This was a practice.
This wasn't even a spin. Let's go to pit stops, then we'll show you what brought out the caution. Steve?
And Kevin Harvick, they're going to make a track bar adjustment, Mike. They also made an air pressure on the number 29. 4 tires for Kevin Harvick. They took 2 tires early in the race, now 4, and their work is done. Matt?
Now Labonte is in. Steve, they're going to make a slight air pressure adjustment. Bobby Labonte very happy with his race car as Bill Elliott. But here comes a 25 on by the 18. As they finish service on the left side, he stalls it a little bit but gets off.
I'm going to tell you what, Joe Nemechek, that group, they got the job done on pit road. But I'm going to tell you some guys that stayed out that were on the lead lap, and it hadn't been that long since they were on pit road. Robbie Gordon, I need to check here in a second when they come back around. I think he's going to be leading this race after at one point being 4 laps down.
I think the 25, Larry, I kind of think he didn't get 4 tires.
They took right sides only. We're getting a report right sides only.
And Captain Nemo was coming. He was up to 7th place.
I love that car. That car is flying.
Now, here's Jack Sprague's spin that brings out the caution.
You know what?
Whoa. Boy, that was close on Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Well, what his problem now is, I think he's got a left rear tire cut down. I think that contact he made that first go-round we saw cut his left rear tire down.
Yep.
That's why he's having trouble getting righted. He was wronged, now he's righted.
Been a busy night for the pit crew. Andretti, just as we went to break, put us under caution for this spin at turn 2.
Probably a little bit of help from old DJ in the 88 car.
Yeah, quite a bit of help.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Just a little.
It's that new logo.
It's faster.
Trouble down the back.
Into the inside, it's Dale Jarrett.
He got into somebody.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
12th caution of the night, 14 is the record. Comes at lap 363 with 37 laps to go.
Jeff Gordon was in about 10 car lengths ago on a lap down, Larry. Dale Jarrett and somebody, I just looked up, I just saw him spinning down, saw Dale Jarrett spinning down the back. He made contact with somebody. Let's see who it is. Oh, there you go. The 42 got into the outside wall. I think Dale Jarrett checked up and got hit from the back. Seen that all night long.
He hit that wall pretty hard on the inside, too.
Didn't see who got into him, but it was just one of those chain reaction situations.
With those thuds like that, they hurt. That's when you say, I'm glad it was on the right side.
Jarrett is on pit road, and also cars near the tail end of the lead lap. Kenny and Rusty Wallace, Johnny Benson, Mike Skinner, Dave Blaney, and Jeff Gordon. Johnson's around turn 2.
That's going to be big.
Caution.
You noticed all that smoke, folks? The sealer they put on this track, when the cars spin out, it just creates the most smoke and haze at any place we go.
Darrell, that started way back at the entrance of turn 1 when Jack Sprague went under a group of cars 3 wide.
For a corner.
And everybody bottled up.
Put 4 tires on and fix the damage.
Jimmy Johnson on the last lap of 3 races this year has had trouble. And here's a look. It all began when he and Sterling Marlin got together. Was that leaving Las Vegas?
Las Vegas on the last lap. Last lap at Talladega right here.
And last lap last week, he and Mark Martin. And now with 30 laps to go, there's Sprague way on the bottom and things stack up.
Well, there were 3 wide in front of him. He had to check up for Casey Mears.
Hey, the 40 car got him again. That's the guy that got him the first time over in Las Vegas.
Jimmy Johnson, in those 3 races, lost a total of 24 positions. Without those wrecks, he'd be 3rd in points. Instead, he is, oh, what's that, about 90 points further back, 89 points further back. They're not happy with Casey Mears, but I think wasn't Casey the man in the middle?
Yes, that's Jimmy Elledge, Casey Mears' crew chief on the right, Chad Canals, Jimmy Johnson's crew chief on the left. And they're neighbors in the pits.
I hate that.
So, we'll have a 25-lap shootout in the Pontiac Excitement 400. You're watching NASCAR on FX.
Really?
Whoa, turn 4! Ricky Rudd.
There comes another car in on top of him.
Mike Skinner.
Oh.
Both those cars were on the lead lap. Caution is out.
Darrell, looked like just where Ricky Rudd would start to get back in the gas, the car came right around on him.
I don't know what happened there. I couldn't tell, but he jerked the window net down real quickly.
And Mike Skinner unable to avoid Rudd.
Yeah, Skinner's car is in. Got the rear tires. He's got the rear tires off the ground.
That's not going anywhere.
Boy, the last thing these guys up there, especially our lead lap cars, want to do is go through there and pick up debris.
There's the heat signature.
You can see it right there, a little bit of debris right there, a little bit right there, hot debris. Definitely don't want to drive through that and cut a tire down.
You want to see hot? Right where Ricky Rudd sits. He's hot.
Had a good run.
Yep. I think they're gonna hold the field here.
Well, they can't get through. We got kind of got the track blocked.
Pace car has picked up the rest of the field.
So we can see what happened back there.
Ricky Rudd has climbed out.
You know what? I think he may have gotten a little tap from the 22 car. We'd have to look at that again. The 22 car was right on him as they went into that turn. And they were racing for positions.
There is Ricky Rudd, and he is okay. Mike Skinner spun around, just not much he could do in the middle of the pack there.
Pretty hard impact right there.
Caution is out for the 14th time in the Pontiac Excitement 400. He's trying to become first place, Joe, for the third time. Whoa, Jack Sprague gets turned by Harvick.
Kenny Wallace goes through the infield, the 23 car. Caution is out. Caution is out. Kenny Wallace actually goes down and hits the inside wall. Now we'll be coming to 10 to go this time. Before the race, NASCAR determined if we have a caution before lap 395, that's the cutoff point that they would throw a red flag where we'd be guaranteed a green flag finish. Past 395, whatever happens, happens.
Larry, these cars all got going. There's no, I don't think we'll need to, this will be a quickie yellow. I don't think we'll have to stop the race.
It looked to me, Darrell, like Sprague kind of lost his forward bite off turn 4, and once Kevin Harvick got into him, going through him was his choice rather than checking up and getting hit from behind himself.
Yeah, it was too bad for Kenny Wallace. He really is going to be the guy that suffered in this one.
Had a good run going.
He did. He had a good car.
We're very lucky more cars were not involved in that, having it right there in front of a bunch of cars.
Well, we're down to the time when, here's another look.
Oh,
that's what happened. Just lost
he
it.
got loose and had to get out of the throttle, and here comes Harvick and just nowhere to go.
Well, we're down to the point we were talking the other night about when Kyle Petty won his first race. 4 of you were racing for the lead as we have another look here from Kenny Wallace.
Chain reaction. You know, again, people get in trouble in front of him, and we're hearing that Michael Waltrip, the 15 car, got in the back of Kenny Wallace.
That's too bad. Michael was running 12th.
And from Greg Biffle.
Well, how'd you like to try to drive through that and not hit anything?
The Cedar on this racetrack makes the most smoke anywhere I've ever seen.
That had a Days of Thunder look to it. Kenny Wallace, a lot of damage. Stacker 2 Dodge. Not going to qualify in the position he drew, which was 10th.
This was a hard crash up in the middle of turn 1 and 2. And I mean, practice just had started.
Like a thing catches on fire, and that was a hard wreck he had.
Dick Bergeron.
John Andretti getting ready to go out and time trial in the backup car. John, you okay?
Yeah, we're okay. We just had a
tight pack. Oh, trouble.
That's Mike Wallace in the 01 car.
He got turned.
Caution is out.
Caution's out. Black flag's out for somebody.
And for Steve Park, I'm going to about bet Steve Park, because that's who he waved it on in the 30 car. That's who he displayed it on anyhow.
Well, here we go. I mean, already we haven't run a lap. We got a car spun out. We got the leader getting black flagged. You know why we call this an all-star event and never know what's going to happen? Because this is just the beginning.
I mean, if that's the case on Steve Parks, that's in 3 weeks he sat on the pole twice and had problems on both starts.
Well, first, let's show you what happened to Mike Wallace. I believe there was contact.
Yeah, I think he gets bumped.
Looks like Kenny Schrader in the 49, his car moved up just a little bit and caught Mike Wallace in the left rear, Darrell.
Yeah, he did. He just spun him right around. And Mike just does a great job, and everybody around him does. Matt Kenseth.
Dave Blaney in the 77.
Yeah, Blaney. These paint jobs.
These paint schemes throw off the curve, don't they?
And here, let's look at the start.
They're coming. I haven't said boogity, boogity, boogity yet.
All right, you see Steve Park had went there. And there you see the red stripe on the outside wall. That's where you start the race right there. And it looked like, Darrell, he possibly started it well before that.
So he got a little over anxious, and now he comes to pit road for a stop-and-go penalty.
I mean, I know when you're sitting there on the pole and you're the leader of the race and you start the race, but you do have to wait for the flag to wave. You can't start before the green flag comes out. There's that right front damage that Schrader had getting into the side of Mike Wallace.
And Wallace will also pit to check and make sure everything's good with his car. Dick?
Yeah, Kenny Schrader is in, Mike. It's going to be right side tires. They're going to pull the right front fender out. Might as well put a little gas in it, so they're going to do that as well while he's here on pit road.
Field at caution speed so they can take their time in making these pit stops.
All right, I want to show you about these red stripes. Right here, this is about halfway between the entrance of pit road and up to the center of the tri-oval. That's where you start the race, and that's where restarts are, right there. That's what the driver's indication is, and that's where the green flag is displayed.
Yeah, and even though you're on the pole, and everybody dictates off of what you do, you have to wait for the flag to come out.
See, it's well before the start-finish line.
The pole sitter dictates the speed at which the field is brought to the flag, but he does not start the race. The man with the flag does.
That's right.
A long time since we've not seen that 24 car, Jeff Gordon, running up near the front at a Winston.
What a knot of cars this is.
Whoa, he's in trouble. You just mentioned it, Darrell.
Yeah.
And Gordon gets hard on the brakes and gets through.
And Jeff Burton just about had to come to a complete stop in the 99 to keep from getting into it.
But does.
That had "I'm trying to stay off of you but can't" written all over it.
Caution is out, of course.
And that will erase Tony Stewart's lead of what was then about 7/10 of a second.
Now, definitely what this will allow the cars, especially at the back of the field, to do.
Come in and get forward and look at the valence. How time are you?
Heard Tony Glover right there talking to him, asking him some questions about his race car. They're going to come get 4 tires, and I'd say cars at the rear of the field will as well.
Yeah, and you know, once you've got damage like that to the car, you got to be in the top 14 to make it. I don't think you can see there's just not enough. Jeff's trying to stay down on that white line, and he was sliding up just ever so slightly, and Sterling was not giving him a lot of room.
Boy, Jeff Burke just barely got stopped in the 99. He'll definitely have to get 4 tires as well.
I think if I'm anywhere near maybe from Terry Labonte, Kurt Busch on back, I'm coming and getting me some tires. Yeah, he'll have a
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car. We're looking at another angle. He decides to come in pit road.
Jeff got a little damage as he went by Sterling. I don't know how much.
11 cars are on pit road. 11 of 20. Who's coming? Who's going? I'm going. Steve. He did. But he is okay. Now has to fight his way back from 20th spot.
On the back.
And it's Ward Burton.
Caught the wall, guys. Caught the wall on the back stretch.
Caution is out.
The wall.
See what happened to Ward Burton. And I believe there was contact here as well.
Jeff Gordon right up behind him. Whoa, buddy.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah, Jeff gave him a little shot there. Yeah, let's see if, Dale Jr. was right up behind Gordon, too. Everybody's in a hurry here. I think Dale Jr. was clean on that. I think Jeff's just got in the back of Ward the way it looks.
From head on. Let's watch from Dale Jr.'s onboard camera.
He's right up behind Jeff Gordon.
No, there's no contact there. Oh, here come the leaders.
Yeah. Well, they did not come in on the last caution, so.
And there's still 3 wide
coming off turn 4.
Somebody has to
do it. There's no way to make it.
Stewart made it. Ryan Newman didn't make it. Caution is out.
Bang. There's no. I knew that wasn't going to work.
defending.
You all right? Yeah, who hit me?
Everybody?
Don't know, Ryan.
When you go down in 3 wide into turn 3 on the bottom on the apron,
He was right behind you.
Newman was on the bottom. Mark Martin was in the middle. Ricky Craven was on top. Tony Stewart was right behind. And the defending champion of the Winston,
easy, as long as you're all right,
is out of it.
not a happy camper, I can tell you that. And I think he's going to come out and let somebody know about it.
Ryan Newman is okay. Picks up a piece of debris.
It's just a driver trying to walk off some frustration, is what that is.
Now, right now, when they get back over here, there'll only be 3 laps to go. Caution laps do count in this segment right here. And right now, Sterling Marlin would be the last transfer spot. Dale Jarrett would not.
They're stopping him on the back, Larry.
They said they would do everything they could to have green flag finishes to every segment.
And Ryan Newman is out here on the racetrack, and
he wants to walk this one off.
He's going to have to walk a long way right now because they stopped the field, as you said, Darrell, on the backstretch.
So Kurt Busch is the leader. Bobby Labonte, Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth, Michael Waltrip. Sterling Marlin has come back to 14th, the final transfer spot. So Ryan Newman, who is now walking to the start-finish line, will not get any justice here. They have red flagged the field to clean up the front straightaway. Let's see what happened. Newman is on the bottom, number 12.
I don't think Tony Stewart didn't get into him. I think he just was trying to stay off of Martin, and the car just jumped out from under him.
And we've seen that several times tonight, guys, where a car on the outside coming off the corner makes your car loose, pulls the back around.
Larry, he went in on the apron. He went into turn 3 on the apron. I'm not so sure he didn't pick up some debris or some trash on his tires. Watch this right here. He's down on the bottom right there.
His car was already starting to get loose right there. Yeah, and then as Tony Stewart run up to him, coming. That made it looser.
Yeah, Tony was coming, but he did not touch it.
No.
I think that's just how free they got these cars set up tonight.
You can watch his hands in there. Watch him. He'll be pretty busy.
Yeah, it just starts coming around, and it's gone. Just in all that traffic, Larry. I mean, almost looks like he didn't have the rear spoiler standing up straight enough.
Well, it was straight up, but there wasn't any air getting to it, apparently. It was going up and over. Let's watch from Dale Earnhardt Jr. as things were tightly packed coming off the corner here.
Well, they got really, really racy down the back. They got 3 wide and just got kind of crazy going into 3 over there, and they come through the middle of 3 and 4 down here, 3 wide, and just can't make it.
From Dale Jarrett.
And you know, you can understand in a small way Ryan Newman's frustration because in the last 4 points events, 4 DNFs. This will be a 5th one tonight.
Matt Yoakum.
Well, Mike, a few moments ago, Tony Stewart came on the radio and said to crew chief Greg Zipadelli, goes, I don't know what he's complaining about. He has no complaint with me. I never touched him. And then in a concerned voice, Smoke also said that he has to pump the brakes at both ends of the racetrack. He may have a brake problem.
Again, stepping out of the box. These guys are running very small brakes, trying to cut that rotating weight down. May not be enough brake.
This is a good night to have a brake problem.
Ryan Newman will not repeat.
Going to be easy to pass with 1 lap to go.
Oh, gosh, here we go. More trouble, guys. Tony Stewart's up in that.
Elliott Stewart.
Took them all.
Terry Labonte.
Took them all out.
Dale Jarrett.
Junior's in it. Tony Stewart got in it.
And Mark Martin.
Now they're coming for the caution, and this will be lap 70. This should be the end of this segment. Because cautions do count. This is the segment. Kurt Busch in the 97. He will win this segment $50,000.
You know what? We may not have 14 cars to start the last segment.
What did I tell you when we started? little optimistic to think that we're going to have 14 cars.
We only had 12 cars cross the start-finish line. There you see Dale Earnhardt Jr. with all kinds of damage. Ricky Rudd came across in 12. Remember, he just barely made it into the second segment.
He's going to make it again. Now it's a question of who can get repaired and answer the call for the final 10 laps.
And they have 10 minutes to repair it.
Somebody down there going into turn 1, it would look like a white car, did a real crazy dive. It may have been Mark. I'm not sure. I got to look at it. But somebody did a real dive down to the inside.
Mark's okay. Terry Labonte's okay. Here's Tony Stewart climbing out.
Here we go. We're going down here now. Somebody up here just all of a sudden. Tony got in the back of Terry Labonte. Yeah.
And then they just stacked up behind him.
Right. Tony tried to go under Terry Labonte and couldn't make it. I saw Mark Martin. I saw the white car take a dive, but it was because of the wreck in front of him. There's Bill.
Well, at first it looks like Stewart's going to try to go 3 wide. He thinks better of it.
Yeah.
And then still coming on the bottom.
Boy, look at Jeff Gordon all the way down on the apron. He's going to come across and finish 9th in that segment.
And you know why he could do that?
Fresh tires.
You got it.
Jeff Gordon, Sterling Marlin, Jeff Burton, and Ricky Rudd all escaped that going down to the apron.
And it just shows you how quickly it can change, because a minute ago we were saying Jeff Gordon's out of it. He can't even make this transfer.
And you know what? Right here, it's Tony Stewart. A miscue on that pit stop puts him back in the field. Otherwise, he'd probably be up there battling Kurt Busch for the win.
Yeah, I was concerned about that.
Now, Dale Jarrett was in the final transfer spot when all this happened. $1 million to win, and we're going to have $1 million junkyard when it's over.
Well, that's always how it goes. The guy you run over, you got to ride in the ambulance with. That's not a good ride.
So we're into the second intermission. 10 minutes.
Maybe a half back in that right rear.
And guess who probably will start on the front row of this thing if they invert 10, and trust me, they will. Jeff Gordon will start on the outside of the front row.
With Sterling Marlin.
Sterling Marlin on the pole. If they invert 10, and trust me, that's what will happen.
We're told that everyone involved in the accident did climb out okay.
Why you got your Tums out, D.W.?
Yeah, I got to have a Tums now. Getting a little rough up here.
Twelve cars crossed the start-finish line to take the caution ending segment 2. Terry
on the 20 car, and he's going to get an opportunity right now maybe to work on his car. We got a caution out, 19 cars. Jeremy Mayfield's in the wall, so these guys may get an opportunity to come down pit road, and maybe it's a spark plug or something they can fix on Tony Stewart's car and get him back in the race as we look at our leader, Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, the caution's out. Jeff, what I saw the engine tuner with, he's got a can of like brake cleaner or something, and what he's going to do, they're going to raise the hood and spray each exhaust pipe, and that'll tell them which cylinder's cold, which cylinder's not firing. Or a can of WD-40.
And
then you'll try to figure out, is it a spark plug or what you maybe can do.
Or,
not a lot you can do.
Yeah, it could be a rocker arm broken, and you could fix that, but it's going to take time.
But they want to at least determine which cylinder maybe has went down on them.
So this officially is the third caution of this race. We began under caution for 3 laps, drying the track from rains 2 hours earlier. Caution at lap 103 for rain, and this is caution number 3.
And of course, Jeff Burton in the 99 gets his lap back. He's back in the hunt now.
Another Roush car still in the picture.
And I'm going to tell you a car that was still on the lead lap that had made no ground up whatsoever, Dale Earnhardt Jr. He pretty much was stuck back there at 24th and had not made any moves at all. Here you're riding with him in the Budweiser car.
Yeah, the car didn't look good either. I don't know what's wrong with it, but it wasn't going anywhere.
Jeremy Mayfield
right front.
crashed going into turn 1 and rode the wall to a halt in the middle of turn 2.
Listen, that's a hard hit, guys. When you see that right front tire right there shoved all the way over to there, well, that's not a good sign.
We've already documented you drive off into turn 1 here almost 190 miles per hour.
And I'm sure that was very unexpected here.
From the Goodyear blimp, watch the black and red car.
That baby is,
wow,
for all intent and purposes, spun out.
Zero, my hero. What a save.
Just gets in on the outside. You can get down into turn 1 real hard on the outside, but as you go over the hump down there into the corner, the back end will come up a little bit and the car will jump sideways with you.
Another look at it from Jamie McMurray. You can see the whole door.
You can get by with that down in 3 and 4, but it don't work that good down in 1 and 2. Steve Burns, what are they saying about Jack Sprague's car?
Well, it's bounced off the wall coming off turn 4.
Terry Labonte bounced him off the wall. Terry got under him coming through 3 and 4. They come off turn 4 down there, and Terry just drove into the side of him, and they both just about turned it around.
No caution, but now tire smoke from Andretti's car from that contact.
Here comes a 5 on the pit road. He's got trouble.
Let's show you what happened.
Bam.
See that so many times coming off turn 4. The car just lunges to the outside, and at that time, John Andretti just happened to be there.
Larry, when you're down under somebody like that, it's almost like somebody jacks the front end of your car up. You got the wheels turned, you're in the throttle, you're making a pass, all of a sudden that sucker breaks loose, and into the guy beside you go.
They were battling for 26th place, and now the left rear tire on John Andretti's car is going flat.
Yeah, John's way up there. He almost spun the thing out. He's trying to get down the pit road. He just, he made it.
And the thing about it, we were within about a 10-lap window, most of these leaders and everybody coming to pit road anyhow for a green flag stop, so this won't completely kill them.
Steve Burns.
Carrier's Benji Grubb is the gas man.
And Ricky Rudd gets a bath. We told you how wet the infield grass was, and he got it all.
And he saw an opening, but he was coming around turn 4. He saw an opening, and he tried to turn down on pit lane, and he was going way too fast.
No caution, as Rudd's car still moves at about 5 miles an hour.
If he sits there long, though, there's going to be a caution. This would be a big break for a lot of cars that have not pitted yet. We've got about 4 or 5 cars that have not been to pit road.
Guys, right now, he can't see. That's the reason why Ricky's not trying to go around the racetrack. And he's got other kind of problems there, too, but he's having a hard time seeing. Probably got a lot of mud and water on those tires. Doesn't want to take a chance.
I heard him just say, Jeff, he's out of gas, and the caution is out.
Okay, well, he's going to get a caution. It's going to help everybody right there. But Ricky was trying to make a smart move, not to pull back in front of everybody at that time.
Boy, this is really going to joust this field up.
Let's show you what happened to Ricky Rudd during green flag stops. Here he comes.
He came, Mike, you see that opening? He came, tried to shoot in there. He was up in a high line coming through 3 and 4. He saw an opening. They must have told him to pit. He thought he could get it woed up, but he couldn't.
But I'm going to tell you what, Darrell, that's something you won't see. A person like Ricky Rudd, you won't see him make that mistake very often.
Let's listen to the onboard, see if the engine's running.
Well, could it? You know, the thing could have run out of fuel up in the middle of the corner, and he had to turn it to try to get the pit lane. That's a possibility, too.
But of our leaders, the only ones that have not been to pit road is Bobby Labonte, Greg Biffle, and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Dale Jr. needed something good to happen to him.
Yes, he did.
He was in trouble. Holy cow.
I mean, right now, those cars I talked about, they're the only cars on the lead lap. But what will happen with a lot of these guys is because they just were to pit road, after those 3 leaders pit, they'll be at the front of them on the tail end of the lead lap. They will stay out.
We just seem to, this happens so often this year.
Ricky Rudd's car either was out of gas or that long slide through the deep water in the grass soaked everything in the electronics so it wouldn't run. Matt?
Well, Michael Fatback McSwain just told by
Jr.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., who was running in the 2nd position.
I think he kept it off the wall.
Caution is out. A bunch of cars go down pit road to avoid him.
I think he kept it off the wall. He may have bumped it a little bit.
How many will beat Bobby Labonte back to the line and get back on the lead lap?
He's got a minimum amount of damage on that 8 car.
Labonte is midway in the backstretch. So here comes Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, Michael Waltrip, Ryan Newman, Sterling Marlin, all to get back on the lead lap ahead of race leader Bobby Labonte.
Yeah, Michael Waltrip, if you mentioned him, looked like Dave Blaney as well. So about 8 or 9 cars got their lap back.
This time, somebody's bad luck was a lot of folks' good luck. There goes Junior.
Yeah, I've never seen, I've been coming here for a long time, and they're running a lot closer and higher all the way through 3 and 4 this year than I've ever seen them before.
What I'm amazed how many cars, and he did just look like barely kiss the wall, is how many cars have been spinning there and not hitting that wall hard.
Now watch how he has a handful here.
Look at his rear brake. Look at his rear brake rotor in there, Larry. It's like it's on fire.
Steve Burns is in Junior's pit.
And made a track bar adjustment, but Mike, is an interesting thing. The left rear tire, it looked like the brake rotors were glowing bright orange red. And the right one as well.
Both rear rotors.
Are there flames in there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I saw him come down pit road and the rear rotors are all glowing red like that. I mean, he spun the car. He had to be hard on the brakes. Maybe they just haven't cooled back down yet.
But I'm going to tell you what, Darrell, because
Steve Park.
Caution is out, so Jimmy Spencer, Bobby Labonte's not going to let him just take it. Okay. He's going to have to earn it, get this lap back. Jimmy Spencer will get it back. Ward Burton will not get it back, as well as Elliott Sadler will not get his lap back either.
Give old Mongo a biscuit.
And now you can give him 4 fresh tires because he's back on the lead lap.
That's right. We're back in the race.
Steve Park, who moved to the Richard Childress.
Hey, Dave, he flat spotted his tires pretty good. You want to come on in right now instead of turning them fenders all to pieces?
What they were asking, let's go ahead and pit before pit road's open. The penalties go to the tail end along this line.
Yeah, I think he can possibly. Nah, I don't know, Larry, if he can get in and get 4 and not lose a lap or not, because the pace car's at turn 3. He's going around.
See what happens to the blue and yellow car of Steve Park, the AOL Chevy.
Well, I don't think I think he just got high off of turn 2 and the thing came around on him.
Boy,
like
Kevin LePage.
So many other cars.
Excuse me, Kevin LePage and Ricky Rudd just squeaked by here.
Pretty much all by itself. It just looked like he got up a little high over there, and around she came.
Larry Foyt made a nice move to miss him also. Let's watch from Ricky Rudd's on board.
Oh, there's what happened. Looked like he made a little move there to get off of the 32 car and spun it out.
Honey.
He is 21st.
I'm going to tell you something not going to make Richard Childress very happy. His two of his team cars, Kevin Harvick in the Goodwrench car, the 29, the orange car, Robbie Gordon, the 31, beating and banging on the straightaway. Guys, that's not the way to run a 600-mile race, beating on each other.
And his other car, Steve Park, brought out the most recent caution.
You know who's loving every minute?
You're watching the Coca-Cola 600. The longest oval track race in the world from Lowe's Motor Speedway. We started in daylight. It's now night, but a lot of flashing lights. That is Elliott Sadler, the outside pole sitter, who's come to rest against the outside wall. He climbed out of the car okay. He slid up in the oil in turn 3, as did John Andretti and Larry Foyt, when Ricky Craven's engine appeared to let go.
I was really worried about Elliott there, because, man, Larry, he went hard in that outside wall, way over there in the middle of turns 3 and 4. And the car finally came to rest right here at the start-finish line.
It's the 8th caution flag of the evening.
Yeah, what happened, Ricky Craven, this was going off into turn 3, and Craven got up high right there as the engine expired, let go on him, and then Larry Foyt in the 14 car was right behind him. He gets in the oil. He's going to hit the outside wall, goes up and hits it. And then John Andretti in the 43 car was involved in well. And then what happened when the caution came out, Elliott Sadler in the 38 car was trying to go to the high side around Matt Kenseth and around the leaders to get his lap back. He got in oil and he hit the outside wall and rode it around. He hit it in turn 3, ended up here almost right at the start-finish line. Very hard lick.
Heavy impact.
All of the leaders have pitted. Now the cars 1 or more laps down are on pit road as we work this 8th caution flag of the night. We started under yellow for 3 laps. drying out the track from earlier rains. We ran 100 laps under green. Then rains came, put us briefly under the red flag, and since then we've had 6 caution flags involving Jeremy Mayfield, Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Steve Park, Kevin Harvick, and this one for Craven's engine.
And I'm going to tell you, the Coca-Cola 600, she's living up to her reputation right here. You see Greg Biffle in the 16 car, overheating, engine problems. It's about now, Darrell, we start seeing that attrition start to kick in. It wasn't that many laps ago. We only had 2 cars out of this race. Now the list is being added to.
Let's update those pit stops under this caution, beginning with Dick Berggren.